keep grinding at it, and hopefully we get something, you know, the light comes on and we start playing Maverick basketball soon.
Questions?
See, you know, like you said, the first half and probably half of the third quarter, you're right there with them, and then they kind of got hot, but offensive rebounds, they absolutely just killed you.
Yeah.
And it was, I mean, there were times, I mean, you know, Lauren had a girl box out, I mean, they're just so long, they just go right over the top.
Yeah, and there's ways to combat that. You know, there's ways to do that and clear them out a little bit before. And we do what we do in practice. We just run to the rim, and then it just goes over top of us. So there's ways to come up with boards. And there's going to be those ones that have a wicked bounce, and we don't get it. But, you know, I put that on me because we don't obviously emphasize that enough.
So, you know, they don't, traditionally, Mines doesn't shoot a lot of threes. Tonight they did, but they didn't make a lot. I mean, your perimeter defense was pretty good.
Yeah, I thought they gave us an opportunity, you know. It just, what happened is they got second and third opportunities, and I think they scored almost on every single one when they got those multiple rebounds. And that's hard. You're putting a lot of pressure on the defense to, you know, to play a good 40, you know, sometimes 50 seconds in one thing, and I think that's too much to ask. I always say, if we block out on the first one, you know, then, you know, it's a lot easier to block out and go 5 feet rather than have to run down and, you know, run 90. So I don't know. It'll get there.
I'd say, Lauren, I mean, the way you guys were trying to box out, but could you just tell, even on the, you know, when they were on the offensive glass, they were just kind of going over you. They got a lot of 50-50 balls. Was it just getting frustrating trying to?
Well, I mean, I just have to get in their knees more. I mean, I know they're taller than me, so I should be the one pushing them back more, like Coach said, creating more space. So even I'll have a better chance if I'm pushing them back more than I am just getting into them.
Yeah, you know, and Laura, I mean, obviously playing defense for that long. I mean, there were times, you know, you guys, they get it. I think there was one time they had 3 offensive rebounds in a row. You guys were trying to, then it kind of becomes a fire drill almost, trying to find shooters. For the most part, you guys did a good job, but does it kind of wear everybody down a little bit?
I mean, it does, especially once we let those first, second offensive rebounds go, then it's like, why are we still playing defense? Like, that's what it feels like out there when we should just get the rebound right away and run out. But, and then we have to know that we have to help each other out. We have to help the helper regardless. Like, it doesn't matter if I have to guard the biggest girl in the court, you know, but, yeah.
Girls, can you tell, I mean, you are getting better and getting closer every week. I mean, I know you had the Feel Good Sunday coming in, you know, starting conference. Not really a step back, but can you feel that you just need just a couple more things to go right?
I mean,
I'll answer that. I mean,
Yeah.
if we work harder, things will go our way. The basketball gods will bless the Mavericks. That's what it is. You've got to work a little bit harder, and then things start to come your way. The flow of the game, the calls, they all go your way when you work a little bit harder. We just don't have that for a complete game, and that's where we've got to practice that. We've got to teach it. You know, they've got to embrace it, and then on Friday and Saturday nights, you got to go out there and showcase it, and we're not doing that yet.
There were a couple of times, I think it started later in the second quarter, and then it popped up again in the third quarter, where you guys really proper found your rhythm. Things were just landing. There was a couple of really good passes. But then it kind of, it would go that way for a series or two, and then things would shift where they just throw in looks at you guys that you weren't anticipating on the floor after you found your rhythm. Were they just mixing it up, or what was kind of going on?
I think sometimes we just settle. We're like, oh, we did this. We went on a small run. We're good now. I think that's what's going on with us right now, and we need to not settle and just keep pushing the ball, keep pushing it in, and that's what we need to work on, I think.
See, there are a couple of times where, you know, you're trying to go backdoor, and again, their length, they could tip a lot of balls out. You couldn't get that little lob that has worked for years, but you know, they kind of anticipated a lot of things, and you just couldn't get that rhythm in a lot of sets. Was that part of, because of their defense?
I mean, I don't think so. We practiced the defense. We practiced their defense all week at practice. We knew they were going to trap everything. We knew they were long. I think it was just more of like being scared to make the wrong pass instead of just doing it and being confident in handling the ball.
We got to recognize, sometimes we just think it's open, and I think there was 3 or 4 of those tonight where we just threw it because when we do it with no defense, it's there, you know, in practice. And that's where it is. You've got to be able to, there's so many moving parts on that floor, and it's really difficult for, especially that point guard. I mean, there are so many different reads they've got to pick up on, and you know, you just got to read the defense and then make them pay. You got to counter with something different. And there was a couple times we just looked at the first option, and we had already set in our mind before we made the pass, or before we even, you know, got set in the play, that we were going to make that pass, and we turned it over a couple times doing that.
Yeah, everybody knows everybody so well in this conference. It's been here for a while, and, you know, it's, okay, you know, there are a couple times when, you know, Rick's yelling backdoor, they're going backdoor, and they read it really well. But again, their length is just, it's really hard to defend, to run anything against that length.
Yeah, they did a phenomenal job with their first help, whether that was off a drive or, you know, a backdoor. Their help was there, and they've been like that for the last couple of years. They do a good job defensively, and they're really sound, and they just help each other out. You know, and that's what you've got to get to be at the championship level and be a really competitive team. Is you've got to read and be able to trust your teammates and help them out when they get beaten. We're getting better, but we're not there. We're not there yet.